What's up, you guys? It's been a day or two since I have did a review, so Beyond the Gates, yesterday's episode. Let's get into it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. But as always, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss any of my updates because we are going to be serving some piping hot tea. And so we open up the episode of Beyond the Gates, and I have so many questions, so many answers. But first things first, how do I put in words? Derek is dead. Ashley is grieving. And I don't think she should be grieving. Yes, she has a right to feel some type of way, but you pushed Derek away. Yes, Derek lied to you. If y'all are not aware of the situation, Derek was paralyzed. And he was confined to a wheelchair, and he didn't know if he could walk again. So Shanice helped him, and he ended up feeling movement in his legs, and he could walk, but he wanted to surprise Ashley. And then one day she came home, and she saw Derek standing up, and she was like, "Oh my God, you can walk?" And he was just like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Wait, this isn't just recent. This is something that had to been happened." So they broke up their engagement. She started dating Grayson. He didn't trust Grayson. He tried to warn her. And of course, one thing led to another. And Jacob was undercover. And it was just a whole bunch of mess. And he ends up getting shot because he tries to be a hero because Derek was a firefighter. And they wouldn't let him go back to work because of the whole accident or whatever. So they forced him to retirement. So he ended up working for Leslie at her free clinic. And it's just a whole bunch of stuff, you guys. And now Ashley is grieving. Ashley, you did that man dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's that guilt eating you alive, because Derek was not perfect. No, he was not. And Derek went through a lot of obstacles in their relationships because of the whole Andre and Ashley dance. And then that didn't work out. And Andre is married to Danny now. They married last season. And they're doing really good or whatever. But, I mean, it's still the Billy Goats, as Leslie says. Danny was married to Bill Hamilton, and he cheated on her. Not once, not twice, multiple times. And then finally, he up and left her for his daughter's best friend, Haley. Haley and Naomi were best friends. They became best friends because Haley didn't have nobody, and we were put under the impression that Haley didn't have nobody. But Haley is a big con artist, and she has conned a lot of men. Now she has hit her target mark of Bill Hamilton. Bill Hamilton is not broke. He's a powerful attorney in the DMV, and thanks to Vernon, which is Danny's father, it's because of it. That's why I always tell people that Ted is a better man, because Ted didn't need the Duprees. The Duprees are some powerful black people. But I know that when people are watching Beyond the Gates, they feel some type of way, and I sometimes do too, because we were bought to believe that they were the powerful family. Y'all can't even control Leslie. Now, Leslie was brought onto the scene, and y'all know I'm going to talk everywhere, so just stick with me. Leslie was brought in. She comes back to the DMV area because she's had an affair with the Dupree's oldest daughter's husband, Ted. Her and Ted hooked up because him and Nicole were having marriage problems because they had Martin and they wanted another child. And Nicole suffered several miscarriages. So sad. So it was a lot of restraint in their relationship. So Ted found resources outside of their marriage. And he was venting to Leslie. One thing led to another. They had an affair for probably like a year or so, I think. I don't know. I don't remember right now. It's not ringing a bell. They had an affair, and they produced a child. Ted was under the impression that she got rid of the child, but Leslie did not. She left the DMV, had the little girl, and married a guy named Alan. Now, my thing is, though, this. People have came up with so many theories, and I mean to make a video about who is Ava's dad. Do y'all think it's the mystery guy, Alan, or do you think it's really Ted's? A lot of people do not think that Ted is the father, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. What kind of storyline would it be? And then there's storylines that they think that Leslie switched her and Kat at birth. But her and Kat are a year apart, not a year apart, a week apart. Yeah, because I think, not Nicole. Nicole had Kat first, and then Eva. But I'm also say this: Leslie is so conniving. We never know. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That would be a good storyline. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Wait for that video because I'm gonna do a video of deep dive of who is Ava's father, because let's talk about it, because there's so many theories and there's so many things that people need to talk about, and let's deep dive into it. But let's go back to what yesterday's episode was, because that was juicy. I really want to talk about that right now, but I want to just like separate videos, so we're just going to talk about everything. But I am going to do a video on who is Eva's father. Let's get into it. But back to what I was saying. Okay, so they need a new chief of staff. Leah was arrested because she was in the plasma ring. She is not the top dog in charge. I would say it is Doug. I'm not Doug. Joey, but it's not Joey. What if it is Doug? Okay, so Doug died last year. Doug was supposedly killed off because Joey wanted to get close to Vanessa. Vanessa and him were having an affair. Yes, Vanessa was married to Doug McBride, and they were in open marriage. But as I've said in another video, Doug was not cheating on Vanessa. He was at the table at the casino. Vanessa was in an open marriage by herself. She basically dated, slept with other men, and her husband was okay with it. And her kids don't have no knowledge of it. Deanna is not Team Joey. Darnell was, but Darnell is starting to see, and he confronted Joey about, asking him, did you off my father? And I'm going to go ahead and say it. How are these kids going to find out? And yesterday's episode, we see Deanna walking away in the country club because after she has had a conversation with Kat about her mother, because she overhears her mother talking about her to Kat and her boyfriend Tomas. Kat and Tomas are dating each other. Now, I'm not a fan of Tomas and Kat dating each other. I wish that they could be with other people, because Tomas had a creeping moment with her half-sister Eva. And another story for another day. I have to do a deep dive on that too. I am Team Eva and Kat. Now, that is hard because in the beginning I was just Team Eva, couldn't stand Kat. And I said that on plenty of videos. But I grew to love Kat, so yes. But I will say this. Okay. Kat is interfering again with an investigation. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You did that last year when it came to Leslie and the whole motorcycle thing with Laura running her off the road. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, Kat, baby, I think you should stay out of this, because I'm going to go ahead and say it. Every time you interfere with something, sometimes it doesn't always work. Now, the only time it did work was when you went to go get Chelsea from the kidnapping whole situation. But I will say this. Kat tries to do the right thing, and I applaud her for that, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. The whole Leslie situation, maybe Leslie could have got arrested. Because I will say this, I will always give Kat props, because when she found the gloves and the helmet, she took them to her sister's hotel room, her half-sister's hotel room, and took them back to Leslie. She did not tie Ava into it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, you can never tell me that that Kat did not care, because she could have turned her in and say, oh, Ava had it, and Ava would have went down too, because she had evidence that the police needed. But I'm also saying this, it would have probably got thrown out of court, because she broke and entered into the hotel room. She told the she was waiting for somebody. I think she even said her sister or whatever. I can't remember exactly what she said. But I was just like, ooh, Kat, now come on now. But yes. Back to what I was saying. Kat really was a listening ear to Deanna yesterday, and I love that about her. I will say this. Kat does do the right thing when it comes to certain situations, and she tries to be a listening ear. And I will say this, I think Kat does have a really good conscience. And I'm going to go deep dive on that too, because I think Kat knows exactly what she needs to do. But I think she's just very stubborn. I don't know where she get that stubbornness from. Oh, well, she is from her mom, because her mom is stubborn. But yes, but she don't get that brattiness from her mom. Ted created it. He did. He created her as Daddy's little princess. And I do feel like Ted needs to still be there for Kat, because she does need a dad. She really does. And I know he loves his daughter, but I know he's trying to make up for Eva's lost times or whatever. But yes. The Dupree's sitting down with Ted and trying to have Shanice on as the new head of the hospital. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think that Dr. Monica should be the head of the hospital. I want Shanice because I think Shanice is a leader, and I'm not taking nothing away from her aunt because her aunt is a leader too. But I just think something really messy would happen. I just feel that, but I could be absolutely wrong. But I just don't think that she should be head of the hospital. I think Shanice, and if Shanice cannot be at Nicole, Nicole is a good leader too. Nicole would do it because of the staff, and she's more of a loving person. Same thing with Shanice. I am not a fan of Shanice and Ted being together. I'm not. And I like that Ted spoke up for Nicole. And I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of the Duprees didn't even speak up for their daughter. Because y'all are supposed to be a powerful black family. And I see it as this. If Nicole can be in on it, if she can be in on it, it would be amazing. Because she is a leader. The people love her. And I think that she is very neutral when it comes to things. Same thing with Shanice. But Dr. Monica, it's just a no. I just really have a really bad feeling about it. And I could be absolutely wrong, but I just want to stand on that bad feeling right now. I really do. Because maybe I should do a deep dive and just really think and just really concentrate on why Dr. Monica should not be involved. Yes, she is a leader. Yes, she talked Anita out of, talked Anita into doing, well, I really don't know. I just don't want her involved. I think it'll be very messy. I really do. I'm going to do a deep dive on that and talk about the things I want to talk about and get into details of like the messiness of what I think would happen and what would transpire. But these are just thoughts and theories. But I'm really just gunning for Shanice. I really am. I know she is a nurse, but I think Shanice would be really good too. I think Nicole wouldn't want it because Nicole doesn't want that type of responsibility when it comes to that. I think she's the more the person, I come here to work and do this and do that. And I will say this. She really couldn't do all the fraternizing because, Nicole is dating Kyle and, Kyle and Carlton. She's sleeping with both of them too. She's having her naughty Nikki moment because, she was married to Ted for X amount of years and she just wants to explore some things. And I think she is hurting because I think she still wants Ted because she is fantasizing letting him pin her up against the wall and just doing just stuff, kissing and hugging and rubbing and touching, how adults do. And I think Nicole needs to really have some soul searching. If I had to choose for Nicole, I would say Kyle if she wasn't ready to go back to Ted. Yes, I think her and Ted could work things out. Yes, they are divorced, but I will say this, there's still love there. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. Ted kind of let that go. And he's trying to move on with Shanice. And Shanice is just like, oh, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Shanice, while you're sitting here on your high horse, and I understand, Ted going to just go ahead and go back to his ex-wife. And then you're going to feel some type of way. And I will say this. The type of person that they brought Shanice into, she's a very strong leader. And she's this and she's that. She's not going to put up with foolishness. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, they made her very weak and very vulnerable. And she is human. Yes, she is. And that one thing I did love about Shanice, she was strong-minded. And she knew what she wanted. And she was that go-getter chick. And I hate how the writers have changed her to be like, oh, I'm like this. But she is human. I mean, it is realistic, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Shanice was so strong to the point where it's just like, oh my God. It's just like with the same thing when it came to Fatima on Sisters. Fatima's character in season 1, loved her. Then I grew to not like her as much because of the way they changed her, because she was such a strong-minded person. And then they just changed her. And it was just like, oh my God. Fatima, it's just changed. But that we're not talking about Fatima or Sisters or any of that. But we are talking about Beyond the Gates. I love when writers don't change strong women, because all women are not weak. They're not. And it's just really sad how sometimes they portray black women, and I don't like it. I like strong women. I'm not saying that you cannot have a vulnerable moment because you are human. And I love the vulnerability, but sometimes it makes where they're like so weak and they need a man, and a man is like their person. They just let BS and let stuff run over. No, we are strong black African American women, and I just want to see that on screen. And I'm tired of seeing it. Tired of seeing black women get broken down by a man that doesn't know what he wants, and we have to sit there and always pick up the pieces. It's not fair to us. It's just so much stuff I could say, y'all. I really could. I can go into details about it. The whole thing with Vanessa, she says she's grieving Doug. Honey, how are you grieving Doug? This the same man when you was with Joey. Your husband is getting murdered, getting ran off the road, and all kinds of crazy stuff. You took off your wedding ring because Joey asked you to, and you was sleeping with him, and your husband asked you to stop sleeping with him, and you didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. No, her and Ashley are in the same boat. Her and Ashley is pissing me the freak off. They really are. I want to see women that are strong, because Ashley, you just threw Derek away because you felt some type, because he lied to you. Yes, Derek lied. Yes, Derek did this. But I will say this, Derek never stopped loving you. And I love the fact that he told you he got the closure he wanted. He said, I love you. And now you're sitting here grieving, but he tried to warn you about Grayson. And you didn't believe him. He was like, oh, you're just jealous or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I feel bad for Derek, because Derek loved her to the last breath he had in him. Doug loved Vanessa. He knew Vanessa was sleeping with other people. He didn't care. He did what he did, gambled, worked hard, still provided for them. Even though I'm going to go ahead and say Vanessa really didn't need him either, because Vanessa had a very successful, still does, have a successful real estate business. And she sells houses all through the DMV. And she has very good connections. And she's a very killer realtor. So I'm gonna give her that. I'm gonna give her that boss chick moment. But I will say this about Vanessa: she wants to be a mob wife, and she's trying to be, like my friend said, a gangsta boo. And it's just like, Vanessa, you want to be a mob wife for Joey so bad. It's like you. What are we, Joey? What are we? This, and you're his partner, and it's just like, girl, sit down. You had the high school sweetheart. You had the love of your life. You lost him because of the foolishness of giving your hot pocket away to a man that he didn't want you to give it to. And it's just like, you knew how it was, and you was cheating on him. You was out of town when your husband was getting offed. And you had to tell your kids, oh, I wasn't with him, and Deanna asked you, was you sleeping with him when dad was still alive? And you was like, no, you lied to your kids. So when your kids find out, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear shitty, because you did Doug so wrong. Yes, Doug was not a perfect man, but it's just like so much stuff. Like, oh my God. But y'all, I'm going to have to do a deep dive on some of these characters, because some of this stuff needs to really come out and just like really talk and really vent. And let's talk about Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gates comes on Monday through Friday on CBS and also on Paramount Plus. You don't want to miss any of my updates, so you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And click the little ring-a-ling-ling-ling on the video. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will be back soon with another video. Beyond the Gate. And Beyond the Gate does not come on this Monday on Memorial Day. We will be honoring the fallen soldiers that lost their life. And hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you. Bye.